Hey everybody, we're coming with a new story time today. So my last story time video did really good, so I wanted to give you another story time about a really horrible date that I went on years and years ago. I can't believe the way life is that it was it was not almost 10 years ago, it was 10 years ago when I was 19 years old. Basically, I went on a date, and during the date this woman basically told me that I was too ugly to date her. So if you want to hear the story of what transpired, please stay tuned. Okay. So when I was 19 years old, I had just moved to the Bay Area. I was living in Berkeley, California. I was actually going to a school in San Francisco, but I was living in Berkeley, California. And I was a lot more involved in like the queer scene back then than I am now or whatever. I was hanging out still at this like nosies. I was hanging out still at this community center called like the Pacific Center, and I met this girl, and we'll just call her, what should we call her? Tara. I met this girl named Tara, and she was a lesbian, and we kind of striked up this friendship. But looking back, we weren't that great of friends. Like she ended up calling me like a friend of convenience. But that's true, that's what we were or whatever. So I struck up this friendship with her. I was new or whatever. She was cool, we would party or whatever. I was in college. And she was kind of like a butch lesbian, and she also had an older, she was around my age at the time. Maybe she might have been 20, but she also had an older sister who was about 23, 24, named Sarah. Tara and Sarah. So they were both lesbians. Her older sister was a lesbian too, and I never really got in, I was always friends with Tara or whatever. And I would since that was her sister, I knew of her or whatever, and we would hang out sometimes, but nothing like major. And she was not my friend. So basically, a few months into me being there, she called me on the phone and wanted to know if I wanted to go out. So I was like, okay. I was kind of taken aback because I was like, it really came out the blue. I was not expecting it at all. So I was like, okay, whatever. So we made plans to go out one day, and we went to dinner. I think we went to dinner and a movie, and it was cool. I don't really remember what happened on the first date. I think we went to dinner, I know that, and then I think we went to a movie. I think we went to see Mission Impossible 3. And it was cool. We had a good time or whatever at dinner. And basically, she ended up asking me out again. So, I was like, okay, cool. So we had a good time or whatever. I'm like, okay, that was cool. I hadn't dated a girl or a woman or whatever, a girl, I guess, since high school. I mean, I was fresh out of high school. It was my freshman year of college, or whatever, with a little bit of time added on there because I took a semester off before I went to college, but I was still only maybe 19. So I was like, okay, I was kind of eager to get back into the groove of queerness or whatever. So we went out again the second time, and we went to dinner again. So she picked me up. I was living at this queer collective at the time, so she picked me up, and I think she took me to the Piedmont area of Oakland, Piedmont Avenue. It's kind of residential with a lot of bars and restaurants and things like that. So we went there, and she took me to some Italian place or whatever, because I think she was really into food. So we were having a nice little conversation, and she was kind of cool or whatever. She was, you know, I was enjoying myself or whatever. I was enjoying myself or whatever, and I thought she was feeling, the feeling was mutual. I was like, okay, we're on this second date. That's what's up. And like basically things like just went left like out of nowhere. So I don't even know how we got on the subject, but we were talking about something, and out of the blue, she just tells me that I'm ugly. Like, she doesn't tell me like out of the blue. Like this story, I don't know. Like I feel like this story isn't as dynamic as like I thought it was going to be. But like out of the blue, she just kind of like, oh, I've never forgotten these words. I have never forgotten these words. Out of the blue, she's like, we were talking about something, and then she's like, yeah, you would be perfect for me, except call me crazy, but looks do matter. I mean, you're cute and all, but it's not like wham bam thank you ma'am. Who still says wham bam thank you ma'am? You guys, when she said this to me, it was like, you know that cliche, like the wind is knocked out of you? It felt like that. It was like, what? And I was like, I had so many questions in my head. I was just like, how rude, first off, to say that to someone. I mean, if I'm really being honest, looking back, then my style game was like probably not like on point or whatever. You know, I was 19, I was poor. You know, when you're 19, you're in college, you don't also I didn't have like a good handle on like my looks as far as like the way I wanted to look or whatever. Now I'm a little bit older, so I have a better handle on my style and like how I want to look and present myself to the world. So looking back, like my style game probably was not, you know, on point or whatever. But like that's just rude to say in general. You know, I was kind of like, oh my goodness, so like why are we here? Why are we even like out a second time if this is how you feel? Like, did you just come to this conclusion like right now? You couldn't figure this out? Like why be bothered with even like, it was like, cause like I did not go out of my way to make this situation happen. I did not call this person. I did not ask for a date. I did not ask for anything from this person. So for this person to basically go out of their way to make me feel like monkey meat was just kind of like flooring and very unsettling. But do you know what my silly masochist behind it? After dinner, we went to the movies. I think we saw the Da Vinci Code, but I didn't know what to do. I was just so shocked. I think, you know, I wouldn't do that again now. Like, if someone said that to me, like now, I would probably be like, well, I'll probably tell them what it is, actually. As far as, yo, that's rude. And I definitely wouldn't, like, stay on the date or whatever with them. But, I was so dramatic back then. Like, I wrote, like, a one-woman piece. Like, because I have a degree in theater. I remember doing, like, this theater performance. So I wrote a piece about it. I wouldn't do that either. Except for now, since I'm doing a story time about it. But it was just a horrible dating experience because it was just like, I did not ask for any of this. Like, why am I out with this person who feels the need to, you know, who feels this way, you know, about me and my looks or whatever? Like, there's no point. Like, what was the point of any of that? You know what I'm saying? And the thing was, she was not that fly either, like at all. Like, she was just like regular looking. She was kind of chubby. Like, no, she wasn't chubby. She was like one of them big burly like lesbians. You know what I'm talking about? Like the bit like a stud that's like big. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, who are you to be telling anyone like that they're not good enough looking for you? Like, who are you? Please like, comment, subscribe. Let's try to get this video to like a bunch of likes. Let's see if we can get 100 likes. I've been hovering around like 50, but then like there's like 500 people watching. So let's see if we can get 100 people to push the thumbs up button. Can we do it? Can you do that for me? Please, pretty, please.